So last week we went through and we built this taco head, and I want to talk more about adding scripts now and show how you can do that in a very easy way. And then we should have some time to talk a little bit about AR as well. So one of the great things about Len Studio is you can take scripts from other projects and you can copy them into your project. So in this case, what I'd like to do is, you remember from last week, in fact, I'll see if I can find it. We made this taco head, and as you opened your mouth, we could, let's see, I've got lots of taco heads now. Oh, here's one here maybe. As you opened your mouth, it would put a taco thing there. So let's see if I can push this over here. And oh, it's not working, is it? Why isn't that working? Oh, okay. Yeah. Let me see if I can open another one. Sorry about that. Got too many taco heads, and I've got no idea which ones still work and which ones don't. I think this one probably works. Okay. Okay, so there's a taco head that's working. Great. So hopefully some of you had a chance to play with that at home and build your own. I saw a couple of very nice examples on the Slack channel. So what I want to do today is I want to make it so it plays a sound when the mouth opens. And it turns out with Len Studio, it's complicated to play sounds, but luckily they've made it easy for us. So I'll show you here about how you can load the visual scripting template. You can find the script you want. You can then export the script as a file, and then you can load that script into another project and then set the parameters, and then you're done. So first of all, we're going to go back to Len Studio and back home, and I'll open up this template, and one of the templates is one called Visual Scripting. So if I open this up here, and of course, those of you who've got Len Studio, you can follow along, and if you've got your taco head project from last week, that would be all the better. Okay, so here's the screen here. You'll see if I tap this here, you can basically make a little squeaky bird sound. That's pretty cute. And you'll notice on this project, there's a lot of stuff going on. In particular, on the objects, there's a whole lot of different examples I've got here called simple, complex, and tween examples. And you can turn these on and off to try different things. So for example, we can click here and do a timer example and so forth. What we really want to do is we want to be able to tap to play a sound. So you can see here, there's a script here called tap to play sound. If I double click on it, it will show actually a fairly complicated visual script. And I don't want to have to reproduce this because it's quite a lot of work. So what I want to be able to do now is just export the script. So I can just right click on this, and you won't see it happening on your screen, but on my second screen, it's got this thing called export. So I can pop that up, and it lets me export the script. So I'll call this tap to play. And you'll see here, I've got a scripts folder, but you can put it in any folder you like. And when I tap to save it, it writes it out to a file. So basically, I'll just go back to the thing here. I've used this script I wanted called tap to play. Then I just went through and right-clicked on it, so export, and it creates a .lss script file. Now what I can do is go back to the other project, and I can bring that into the project. And I may need to also bring in resources as well, because of course in this case I want to have the sounds as well. So there's different sounds here. There's a squeeze sound. So again, I can right click on that and I can export that, and I can get this squeeze sound as well. So that's all good. So now we're going to go back to the other project, which was the taco head project, and we're going to bring that into the project and make it so we can then make a squeeze sound when we open our mouth. So we've got now, if I open up my folders here, I'm just going to navigate to where the scripts folder is, and I've got this tap to play script, you can see there. So I just drag that into, oops, click and drag. Sorry, I'm having issues with my mouse. This is too painful. See if I can click on this one and if I can load it from here. Where is it? I'm using my trackpad on my Mac, and it's very sensitive. There we go. Now I've got it. So I can click and drag it to there. Also, I need to drag into the place the sound effect as well. Okay. So now I've got them both here. So that's, and you can click on that and you can see it's the same script basically as before. Now with the scene manager, you'll remember we need to add, this is the object that manages all the scripts. So what we need to do is add the script to that. So I just click on here, add script, and a little dialog pops up here, and I can click tap to play, and now it's going to add my script to there. But because it's added the script, it's also added this new field here called click sound. So now I can click on my here and drag this across to click sound, and now that's filled in. So basically what I did, if I go back to the thing here, is I just dragged this into the to the manager object. Then I added a script to the object and added that script to there, and then I had to add the resource into the input form there as well. Okay, so we're almost done actually. So now we've got, now if the script is working, I should be able to click on my taco heads and it makes a squeak sound, which is great. But I don't want to do that. I want to have it so that when I open my mouth, it makes a squeak sound. So of course, the way to do that is if I zoom into the visual script for the tap to play, I just have to add an event here. So I can add a node, and I can add the mouth open event. And we're familiar with that one because we used that one last week. So there's mouth open, and it's super easy. I just need to take this and I can wire it into, oops, taking the wrong one. I have to take the bottom one and wire it into here. Oops. There we go. And now it's got both of them. And if I open my mouth, you see it works. And so I can either click on my face or open my mouth. With the script like this, you can take multiple scripts in as well. So that's a very simple example. Let me just, maybe I should break the connection so it's not going to be, yeah, click on that and it goes away. That's good. So this is adding mouth event. If you want to try it for yourself, here's the Snap code, and you can scan it and try it for yourself. But the main take-home message from this is that it's relatively easy to copy scripts from one project to another. You just have to right-click, export them, and then import them into the other project, and then set the values to the correct resources you need. So, and that visual scripting template I showed you, they've got there lots and lots of different scripts. So if you, you could load in 20 or 30 different things. They've got scripts from showing on-screen user interfaces to loading sounds, playing videos, and a bunch of other different things. So more than likely, there's for many of the features you want, there's something here that you can use. So you know, here's a button script, for example. If I go and click on the good button example and unclick, check this to make it work, unclick this one and turn off our guy there, then there's some buttons that appear on the screen and make animal noises. So, again, you could easily copy this into another project and customize to what you want as well. So that's super easy. So we're going to start talking next week more about augmented reality, and I wanted to show briefly about how to build simple augmented reality systems using Len Studio. And as I said, when I first started doing augmented reality 20 years ago, this would take weeks and weeks and weeks of time to do. And now with tools like this, you can just do it in a few seconds or a few minutes. So obviously Len Studio supports a range of different types of augmented reality overlay. So there's different methods for face tracking. They also do body tracking. So you can put, as you see in the picture there, a virtual spacesuit on your real body. They do marker tracking and wheel tracking, and also tracking the camera rotation orientations. So I'll show you a couple of examples of those today, and then encourage you to go and play with it yourself. So we're going to look at marker tracking, and there's some key steps. You have to select image markers, you have to add markers to your scene, add lights, add some objects, and if you want to, optionally add behaviors, and then you're done. So let's go through that. We're going to be using these markers today, and what I'll see if I can post it into the should be able to upload one of them to here. I think can I share? I'm a bit of a novice when it comes to I guess in the Slack channel I could share the images. Let me do that. So so I've got these images. This is from the Vuforia library, but I've got these as JPEG. So let me just grab one of them, and I'll drop it for you into the Slack channel. So in the general channel, I'm going to drag and drop this image. Does that work? Okay. Uploading a file. Where's the dialog for that gone? Come on. Huh. Oh, there we go. Oh. Okay, so I think I shared that to the general channel. So if you want to right click and download the astronaut image, you can do that. There's also this drone image. I won't use that so much today, but that's the same deal. So I'll put that here. And these all came from a PDF file which I'll upload called Mars Images, which is developed for Vuforia. So anyway, so here's some images you might want to use. And what we're going to do is we're going to put an image on top of that. So what we do is we create a new project. So let me go back and do that. And then we just drag the image into the thing here. So let's create a new project, and we'll call this, okay, I've got a brand new project here. And then I'm just going to go to my image directory, and I can just drag this astronaut image into the project like this, and the drone image into here as well. So that's good. Then what we want to do is add marker tracking. And so in the project, we just click on the objects here, and you scroll down, you can see this one called marker tracking. And we click on that, and you have to drag across, and you won't see on your one, but on my one, it pops up a little dialog and it says image tracking. So you select image tracking, then it pops up, it asks you for what image that you want to use. So again, I'll go back to here, and I'm going to pick the astronaut image and open that up. And then it opens that. And if I go to the scene view, you'll see now there's the image of the marker that I'm going to be tracking off in the scene. Okay, so that was pretty easy. So I won't put the second marker in, but you could add multiple markers if you want to, so we'll skip that for now. What we also need to do is add a light. And the reason for that is that as we wave around our piece of paper here, we want to make sure the light always shines on the object to make sure it's well lit. So if I go back to the image there, then I just need to right click, oops, sorry, and so I hit the plus button and add lights. So I can add a light there. I think I just add one light. What's it saying here? Oh, it says actually it can take the existing lights. I made a mistake and move it underneath that one. So let's just delete the new light I added and take the existing light and just drag it underneath the image marker. There we go, perfect. Okay, now we're nearly done. So now I just need to add an object. I'm just going to pick a sphere object, and a sphere appears also underneath the marker. I'm going to move it up so it's just a marker there. It's good. And then if I rotate the camera a little bit, you'll see the sphere is stuck halfway through the marker. So if I select the sphere and then select the translate tool, I can move the sphere up like this. I should probably also make a material, because it's so I can just go to here and add a material. In this case, we're going to add a PBR, and if I click on the PBR, and we can make it go to red. So now we've got this kind of red pool ball color, which is good, and I have to confirm that. And then I can drag, if I go back to the sphere, you'll see it's got this default material here. I can just take the PBR and I can drag it over and stick it in there. Actually, I should probably right click and rename that to call it red. Okay, great. So that's that. I think we've done everything now. Add objects, add materials, done that. Moves it around a little bit. Great. So then let's see if it works. So now I can go back to my camera here and hold the marker up, and look, there's a red object appearing on my piece of paper. Now, in your case, unless you've got a printer right by your computer, you probably haven't printed out the paper. What you can do though is just load that JPEG on your phone and track from the phone. So if I just cheat, and I can go into here and open this on my computer and maybe make it a bit bigger, and then take a photograph of that with my phone. Then there we go, and I can then do the same thing on my phone. So there's my phone with the photograph, and you can see the red ball appearing on my phone as well. Oh, there we go. So a bit better because I had a dialogue menu popping up. So if you don't have a printer on to hand, you can do the same thing with printing as well. Oh, and Eric's saying here that he's got a set of 52 cards optimized for tracking. That would be great. Edgar says, does it work with a front-facing camera? Yes, it does. But it's a bit hard to see, of course, because you're holding the paper, and then but yeah, normally you activate the back-facing camera and point your phone at objects, but yes, it will do. So that's tracking, and there are many other templates you can use. I want to give you another example, which is this marker overlay template. It's kind of a cute one as well. So let's just go back, and I'll just save this project, and I call it ball marker, I guess. And then I can go back and open up this other project, which is, I go to templates, I find it. Oh, there it is. Mark. Okay, so I can load this one here. This is a bit more cute example of tracking. And again, I don't have the thing printed out, but I can go into my phone. So here you can see on the right-hand side, I guess I can make this bigger. You can see it's got this little nice UI here saying looking for image. And these functions are all across here, of course. So, and this is a picture it's looking for. If I click on this one, you can see that's the image source there. I took a photograph with my phone of that. And so now when I show my phone here, you'll see the picture appears. There's a little bouncing guy appearing. And it's super cute because it looks like they deformed the real video of the image when it's bouncing. So it's a really nice example of what you can do with image tracking. So I want to talk, give you two more examples, and then we'll be done for the day, so about 10 minutes. So I want to talk about surface tracking. So sometimes, obviously, you don't have printed images. Obviously, enhancing printed images is really great for doing things like marketing material, where you've got a brochure or some logo or something. You want to look at it and see some AR content popping out of the logo. But you may want to have an example where you just want to drop an AR object in the scene, in the real world, without having to print anything. So Len Studio also supports surface tracking. And this is super easy. You basically create a new scene, and then you add, you change the camera properties and say you want to be able to have a surface tracker, and then you add a scene object, and then you're pretty much done. Actually, for bonus points, you can add shadows to make the scene object more visible. So I'll show you how to do that. So if we go back here and we create a new project, I don't want to save this. And so here's a new project. Now, if I click on the camera, I'll make this a bit smaller now. You don't need to see my face jumbo size. If I click on the camera here, you'll see, here's all the camera stuff. You'll see this little plus icon underneath the camera. I click plus here, and I can add here, if I go to the tracking menu, which is right on the edge here, unfortunately, you can see a thing called device tracking. So that's what you want to select, this device tracking. So again, I just went plus, and I picked on the tracking here, and device tracking was the first one. So it now adds this component here, device tracking component, and it's already set to tracking mode of surface. So then you can click to use native AR, which means that if your phone supports ARKit or ARCore, it will use that on the phone. You'll see the tracking mode, you can pull it down, and it actually supports rotation, surface, and world tracking. But for now, we'll use surface tracking. So you've done that. Then the next thing you want to add is an object. So let's go back to follow along here. You've done that piece. Now we want to add a sphere to the scene, and we're also going to add a material to the sphere. So we did that before, but I'm going to add a new object to the scene, and then onto that I'll add a sphere right here, which is great. And you saw me do it before, but we'll just add a PBR material like we did last time. So here's a PBR material, and if I click on that, and I do like red, so I'm going to make it red again, super easy, and then go back and change the color of the object to red. Now, if I scroll in here, you'll see the object is kind of sitting in the middle of the ground. So I want to select it, and again, select translation from here and push it up so it's not in the middle of the ground anymore. Okay, so that's done. So we're almost done, actually. The last thing we do is add shadows. So actually, this will work for now, but it doesn't look very realistic because it looks like the you don't have any depth cue. And so we've just talked about how important depth cues are. So we can add a shadow, and we want the sphere to cast a shadow onto the ground plane. So that means that we have to add a plane, a shadow plane. And then we have to select the sphere and say it's going to be the caster. And we have to select the ground plane and say it's going to be receiver. And we also have to go into the light and check the shadows box so the light casts shadows. So It's not too hard. So we just add another object here, the shadow plane. So that I'm going to put that over here underneath the scene object. There we go. Now we've got a sphere here, and we've got the shadow mode here, and I can push this down, and you won't see the dialogue because it's on my second screen, but it's going to give me the option to be a caster. So it becomes a caster, and we want the shadow to be dark. So I click this one and pick a dark gray for the shadow. Okay. Then we've got to click the shadow here. This has to be a receiver. Well, it's already receiver by default, so that's good. And then we need to click the light here, and we have to check shadows. And when we do that, a few things pop up, including the shadow color. I think they're all good by default. One thing we may need to do is if I scroll around here, it might be okay. This light is a directional light, so it's coming from this point here, going down here. You may want to move it, like drag it down and drag it across more, so it then casts shadows more of an angle, so it looks a bit cooler. But anyway, that's for you to try. And then you're pretty much done. Now, in this case, it's really hard for me to demo it because I obviously can't move my thing here. One thing that some of you may have noticed before, though, is if you don't want to generate the snap code, it can be quite fast for you to just click on the Send to Snapchat button. And the first time you do it, it asks you to scan a snap code, and it will then sync your camera or your phone with the app. And then the next time you do it, it'll automatically send the app to that phone which is synced, and you don't need to generate the snap code. And you can just test right away without having to publish it and do all the extra work. But if you do want to test it, if you go if you scan this with your Snapchat, then you will find that you can look around your when it's running. You can look around your real world. You can tap, and it'll put a ball where you've tapped, and it'll cast a shadow based on the ball, so you can see from here. Derek says, is Len Studio the Snapchat for Windows and Mac? It's for both. So Len Studio is the software used to build snap lenses, and it runs on either Mac or Windows. So you can try it for both. It's super easy. So that's, I want to show you one more thing. So the last thing is this look around. Actually, two more things, but this is kind of fun too. So in this case, what you do for look around, well, we'll just load the template. So I'll save this one here, and in the and I'll call this ball surface, and snap. And direct to snap camera. So no, snap camera only runs on your mobile phone. So so Len Studio is the tool used to build snap apps, and you can have video in Len Studio running on Windows or Mac, but the app itself only runs on your mobile phone. So yeah, hope that answers your question. So if you go back here, and if you go back to the templates, and you try and find one called Look Around, actually I've got it right here. So when I open this up, what this one lets you do is it puts objects around you in space. So we've got these little birds here, and it's super easy. If I click on the camera here, you'll notice they've got the device tracking again, but this time they put the device tracking mode to be rotation. So what that means is when you run the app, you just have to rotate your camera around, and you'll see objects appearing around you in space. So it's based just on the rotation of the app, and so that's setting up. You just add the camera, add the device tracking again, but now select rotation. And when you run it again, it's hard for me to demonstrate because I can't. I guess I should have set my iPad up so I could stream into the into Zoom, but I didn't for today. But you can try it yourself. If you just scan the snap code here, then you should be able to pan around and see a bunch of birds around you in space. Then the very last thing I want to show you is another nice demo you can try called Portal. And this is, many of you may have seen online those kind of cool demos where you see a augmented reality door. And as you walk through the door, you go into a VR space. Well, this lets you do that. I'll play this video. It's actually a very long video, and it takes you through the whole process of building the portal and manipulating, but I'll just show you the first 30 seconds or minute. And then if you want to, you can go onto YouTube and watch the rest of the video. So here we go.
Hi, I'm Peter, and in this Len Studio tutorial, we'll cover how to use the Portal template for creating world lenses. This template is a great starting point for creating lenses that allow users to enter and explore immersive 3D spaces. In this video, we'll edit the portal template by importing custom 3D content and scripting a simple trigger when the user enters the portal. Let's get started.
Okay, so I'll stop that there. So basically, just saw in that video, when you run the demo, you can place this kind of robot in the real world, and then as you walk close to the robot, the doors will automatically open, and you can then walk further, and you get into this VR space. And you'll see also there's this button here. If you tap the button when you're in the VR space, that launches the rocket and makes some kind of fireworks appearing as well. So it's a super fun demo. This one is also using surface tracking. So if I just load up the demo, go back to the templates, and I can select portal, then you'll see in this case that they've also used the surface tracking. So here's the portal here. Lots of content. You can see on the right hand side, it puts the robot in my face by default. Oops, and plays lots of sound. How do we stop that? That's really annoying. Let's see here. Okay, that's good. So reset the lens. So just to point out a couple of things. First of all, the camera again uses that surface tracking. So if you're outdoors, like this image here, then the object appears in the real world. And then when you walk closer to it, it basically uses this portal controller here to activate a script based on your distance. And as you get close enough, it'll animate the doors opening, and it will then, you can move into the virtual world. And then there's other things for the button and so forth. So if you want to build your own AR portal, then you can go into this template and start modifying it. This touch collision here, this is the point here where when you get to that point, it's going to open the doors, and so it basically looks at the body touching that virtual point. Then this portal controller here, the portal corner here sets where you can oh, I'm sorry, Derek, you're right. There is a Snap Camera app for the Mac and Windows. I made a mistake. So actually, maybe next week I'll use Snap Camera and I can replace my face with a Snap avatar. We'll see how it goes. So this is Portal. I highly encourage you to use that as well. We're just at the end of time now. Does anybody have any questions? And as I said before, we can ask questions on the chat or ask on the Slack channel as well. So somebody says Mozilla Hubs. So Mozilla Hubs is really a fantastic tool for social VR. We'll talk about that more in the social VR lecture, but it's a great way to build WebXR applications. So